Hello, how's it going? Welcome back to my CONVERSA. How are you doing, Tsunamiz?
Whoa, hey, what's up? Doing fine, doing great. What about you?
Very, very well. It's so amazing to have you back on the show. It's been
Cool.
20 long months with this break.
Indeed.
It's been an amazing break. And yesterday, I was watching our episode, which was episode 49 on season one. And
Yeah.
wow, I have so much to say. But before I go into that episode, can
Mhm.
you let us know an update about what you have been doing these last 20 months?
Last 20 months. So I guess we're talking about 2020, right?
2021, yeah,
21.
yeah.
I get lost in the
I know the
months and
pandemic
years.
has made us like, what year are we in?
Yeah, we're demented or something. Uh, so I guess when we spoke, I already released my first album
Yes.
in 2020, Afterbirth Afterparty. Uh, I'm always, like I said, working on new stuff, new songs, and I released on 2022 my fifth album, Looney Tunes, and I'm currently finishing the sixth album that will be
Wow.
released on September this year. That will be called Culture is Dead, and I have already two singles and official videos available uh, presenting
Congratulations.
presenting that new album. Yeah, thanks.
Your videos are always really, really, really well thought out, really well orchestrated. Can you let us know a little bit about that
Mm.
process? How do you make your videos?
Uh, it normally usually starts with the when I'm picking the song. I have to
Yeah.
pick the song, and I start listening to the song, and I start getting ideas, visual ideas, um, within the possibilities, the means that I have to make it happen,
Yeah.
budget wise. I
Because it's
I
not cheap.
usually.
Make a video is not cheap, guys. Not at all, right?
Yeah, it depends. It depends on who you're hiring, who you're working with. Sometimes you can make it yourself, but it's a lot of hard work, and you want it to be cool and want it
Yeah.
to look good. And
Yeah.
but it can be very expensive. And I don't know if in this current age that investment in the beginning will be that fruitful, that.
Yes, absolutely. And I want to piggyback on that because you make a good point. If you make the investment, it could be really fruitful and lucrative for, your music or your business or whatever you're doing. Because
Yeah.
when we talked, me and you in the beginning were getting into my first single, which was Alfama. And you
Indeed.
actually helped me with the process a little bit as far as the album cover and all that good stuff goes. I was totally like a fish out of water. That was my first rodeo on every single thing and every aspect. And the CD is out now. It released in September, so I'm very happy about that.
Cool.
But you're right. It is a big investment up front for a video, which I did a video for Alfama that you can find on YouTube. And
Hmm.
it is a big investment. But then after that video, I mean, dude, so many shows, so many interviews, so many articles. It was such a blessing.
Yeah.
So sometimes you do have to invest in order to progress, right?
Indeed. Yeah. 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 That's right. That's right. Because it shows, it gives credibility to your project.
Absolutely.
That's why you get the shows. You get it's an investment. You get that pay. I'm talking, for instance, in my case, I have more than one video.
Yes,
It starts to add up.
it
Of
does.
course, it depends on the budget you have. It's very personal choice and very personal choice of investment.
Absolutely.
Um, it really depends on your budget, because also for independent artists, if you're doing the things all by yourself,
Yeah.
it's just not the video you're paying for. You have to pay for. You have to
I
pay
know.
for the promotion of the video, the
Yeah.
ads, the marketing. So it really can add up very, very quickly.
Yes, yes. And that's one thing that really inspired me with you is because after we met, it was like this. You were at this level and I was kind of like this, right? So when I rewatched the video yesterday, a lot of things that you were saying at the time, I was nodding my head as if I completely comprehend. But at the time, I was barely just grasping the surface. But now, 2 years later, I feel like I can connect more with what you were talking about
Yeah,
2 years ago versus then, because I was nodding my head yes and yes, but when I was rewatching it, I was remembering my mindset back then, and I was not there yet. And everything you were talking about in the video is everything how I feel now. And you were getting
yeah,
very philosophical as well. You were talking about, how the meaning of life, sometimes we figure that out later in life, or our purpose, or our
yeah.
meaning for ourselves. And it was interesting because everything you were talking about then is kind of how I live my life today. So it was very, very cool to
Cool.
see. And if anyone has a chance, please go watch it. It's on YouTube. It's episode 49, Tsunamiz. You will not be disappointed. You will learn everything from the beginning of Tsunamiz, the humble beginnings of how when he was a child, he already liked music. And we go on with the whole history of that. So it's very interesting. But today I really want to know, what are some important things that you've worked on from 2021 to 2023? I still see you rocking and rolling. You just said you're on to your 6th album that's releasing in September. That is insane. And you do it all by yourself. And I think that really inspired me more than you even know, and more that I even realized. Because when I was rewatching it, I was really thinking, wow, this guy really sparked a lot for me in the beginning to really push more and to really work harder. Because in that whole episode, you talk about the strategy. You talk about the strategy for independent artists, how you begin, how you do it from A, B, C. You explain it all. So I think that I didn't even realize how golden and important that advice was at the time. But it really resonated with me because it really helped me progress these 20 months. I mean, so many blessings have occurred.
Awesome. That's
Yes.
really great to hear. Yeah, and I also have to learn myself, learn the things myself. Like you were speak. I also watched a lot of videos, gain knowledge, not only at the promotion and marketing stuff as a musician, independent musician, but also as a producer. Producing my own stuff. I never took a course, so Uh, I do. I look for a lot of information. Any
Yes.
questions I have, any doubts I have, I look for instance, on YouTube for tutorials and uh, other producers talking about their experiences and stuff. So it's a constantly learning
Yeah.
experience, always learning new stuff, and it's like you have this like you said, like we talked before, the purpose stuff. You're
Yes.
focused on that. You like it's the core, and to that core you need to feed anything that makes the core bigger and larger.
Yes.
Information, more information, more knowledge, more everything comes to it. You know why you're doing stuff. You have the purpose. And for me, it's that I know what I want to do, and I like to have the freedom, because it's like being an independent artist is the coolest thing is I can do whatever I want,
Yes.
musically and creatively, and that's the most rewarding stuff. So, but it's constantly learning new stuff. That's also very, very exciting.
Yes, yes. And I think that's why, I mean, I'm not trying to downplay the other people, but I think that's why we do progress. So not quickly, but we do progress at a good
Yeah.
rate and a flow, because we are able to humble ourselves and see what we can improve on and what we need to strengthen ourselves and what we need to learn. There are other people who think that they already know it all, and they never improve, they never progress, they never get better. They literally stay the same, and then they complain. And that's the reason why, is because they already think that they know it all, or that they're already perfect, So then they don't improve the performance, they don't improve their vocals, they don't improve their presence, their stage presence, and that's why, you know, they don't really go far. So I think that's also an important piece of the puzzle. You need to humble yourself and bring yourself down to earth, be grounded, and look at yourself, really critique it, and always get better. Always get better.
Yeah, that I usually experience sometimes different emotional phases, like self-confidence. Like
Yes.
I feel very confident in what I'm doing. I listen to my songs and I feel great. I like them. I enjoy. I make the music I want to hear. It
Yeah.
gives me
Yeah.
joy. It comes
Yeah.
from necessity to express myself. That's why I created. That's a good feeling to keep going. The self-confidence stuff phase. But I also have the self-doubt phase, you know. That's when I come
Of
down.
course.
And I listen to the music, for instance. I look at my live performances and stuff,
Yes.
and I start, and I'm very critic. The phase where I'm very critic. But those are hard times, but those are very precious times. That's when you start correcting in regrouping, you know, starting to know what you have to correct. That's when the growth happens, you know.
Yes, absolutely.
There's two different phases from my experience that are very, one keeps you going and the other keeps you learning, you know, and keeps you getting better. Yeah.
And you know what? You bring a really interesting aspect, because I've never thought about it as two phases, but you are completely right. The first phase is kind of like when you do have that self-doubt, it's absolutely great to have, because that is the opportunity to critique and get better, just like you said. And then we also have the other phase where we are super confident, and we need that phase. We need that phase
to make things happen.
To make things happen, to engage our audience, to connect with the people. So we do need those two. It's almost like a yin and a yang, right? The black and the white come together. It's like we need those two components within ourselves in order to make the thing work. You know what I mean? So you make a good point there. I really like that. And are you still in Seychelles?
Southside Seychelles, yeah.
Bay Area.
Yeah,
I remember last time we were talking about that.
Exactly, yeah.
How's it been over there? How's it been?
Well, like for instance, today is a very hot day, like very heat wave, you know.
Yes, I know. I'm in a hot heat wave over here in California, so I understand.
Yeah. The thing is, we get the cold winters, you know, also, but very hot summers like this one that we're having now.
But you know what? In my childhood, I never remember Portugal being super, super, super hot. I remember it being very comparable to California, but maybe it's getting progressively hotter now, right?
I don't know if it's progressively autumn, because 20 years ago or 30 years ago,
it was the same.
When I was a little child, I remember very hot days, like you almost couldn't breathe, you know, the air was so hot.
Right.
Yeah.
My God, that's crazy. That's crazy. Well, another thing we talked about was you were 35 then. So you're 37 now, or almost 37?
Well, if the math is correct.
November, right? November. Scorpio.
Exactly. 4th of November, yeah.
Yes, 4th of November. It's funny because like all my good friends in life have basically all been Scorpios.
That's cool.
I don't know what's that about, but I'm a Libra, so maybe they go together, Libra and Scorpio, probably as friends.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you have working on besides the 6th album that you're excited about? Is there like a show coming up that you're excited about, or a trip that you're gonna take? Because it is summertime. It is summertime.
Yeah. But for me, for instance, I'm not taking any holiday. I'm still working on this.
No holidays for Tsunamiz, right? No holidays.
No rest days. Yeah.
No rest days.
Just keep hustling and pushing forward, you know, and making things happen. And that's the spirit. I have some. I just played a show last night in Stubom.
Good. Talk about that. I want to hear about that. Stubom.
Yeah, there was a like a small venue, pub also, and I had family there, a cousin of mine, and hunt, uncle and hunt, and friends. It was a very
That's so
cool
cool. Do they
groove, a
come
cool
out a
vibe.
lot? Or is it rare when
What?
your family comes out? It's kind of rare thing, right?
It was, yeah. It's just sometimes even my parents sometimes attend my shows if it's
What?
some
That's
more close.
awesome.
Yeah,
No
yeah.
way. That's so cool. I love that. The support, that is amazing. It's really hard to get, friends and family out to the shows. I mean, for me at least, I've been singing
Hmm.
fado for 7 years. And I'm telling you, I remember who goes to my shows, believe it or not. I really do
We
remember.
all do.
We all do, right? And it's just crazy to me the amount of people that do support, which it's really remarkable. And we have a following and they support us. But it is
Hmm.
hard to get like our friends and family out. So when they do come out,
Yeah.
we love it. We appreciate it. And I love to hear that your parents go and rock out. That's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
sometimes when it's close, relatively close to home, and they have the chance and
Yes.
they go, yeah, it's cool. Um, the and I have some shows up in November also, festival in Almada,
Oh, wow.
with other bands. So, and
Like a rock
I'm
festival?
still, yeah, it's
Okay.
psychedelic stoner rock, and they put some song.
Ooh, I want to go. November what? Let me make
It's
my flight to
12.
Portugal. November
I'm
12th.
gonna play Sunday.
Are you going to celebrate your birthday on that stage?
Yeah, I thought about it. Yeah,
You
it's
better.
very close, So I think
Yes.
the best birthday gift is to play a live show.
Absolutely. And do you ever see yourself stopping playing music, or you think you will literally go until the last day? What do you think?
Hmm. That thought sometimes comes to my head. Like
Yes.
if I did stop, I think I wouldn't be happy. I wouldn't be motivated because it's
Yeah.
not money that motivates me. I think
Yes.
um, if I wanted money, I would be doing other stuff just solely for the money.
Absolutely.
But I really praise my mental well-being.
Yeah,
And
because it's not easy, right? It's not easy to be an artist and pour your heart and soul. And of course, people don't really understand what it takes, but it is
Mhm.
very draining. And another thing is, but it is our fulfillment. It really fulfills our purpose, but we do not, well, I'm talking for myself, we do not make a lot of money. So you're right. If you wanted to make money, you would have went and did something else, right?
Yeah, if you're talking about easy money and or an easy way to get money, there's a lot of, yeah, or I'll be playing another style of music, for
Yeah.
instance. But
Yeah.
that would make me so depressed.
Yeah,
No
no,
money,
totally.
no money can buy that.
Yes,
My happiness. So
absolutely.
I don't see myself ever, uh, not for economical reasons, only if I feel like I have nothing left to compose, or if I feel like nothing interesting for me is
Yeah,
coming out. In that case, I would stop, but
yeah.
I
But
don't see
that's
it
so
for the.
hard to that's so hard to even imagine because, speaking for myself, for example, we're
Yeah.
constantly having ideas in our mind. And you as a producer, as a composer, you probably get ideas all the time. So it's kind of even hard to imagine a day where that all stops because that's kind of your nature, your way of being. So it was
Mm,
kind of interesting question, but I know that we all think about this. All artists think about this at one point or another. They think,
yeah.
will I ever stop? Will I just keep going? Like it's a very
Yeah.
interesting thing because I remember I asked one of our really, really top musicians here in our community. He's been playing music for over 30 years, close to
Mhm.
40. And he's still rocking out. And I asked him one day, I said, do you ever think you'll retire? And I meant that with all of the respect in the world. I don't want the man to retire. And he said no. that he will go until like he's physically unable. And
Yeah,
yeah,
that's what also think about. I'll be doing it until I can, until
yeah, like
I
you physically cannot, like your body does not want to do it anymore. For example, I did
or
a
cannot do
show.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, I did a show recently in Patterson where we had I believe he was 90 or 93, but I know he was in the 90s. And he was a great musician in our community. And he stopped when he couldn't play anymore, like when he literally couldn't play anymore. But when he was watching us up there, because it was fado music, obviously, when he was watching us up there, he turned to his nephew that was right next to him and he said to him, he said, man, you don't even know how much I wish that I could be up there. So it's kind of
Exactly.
like that brought me tears because it's kind of like that vontade and that gosto and that poder, it will never leave you. Like if that is your passion, it will never leave you. Even if you're 90, 93 years old, it will never leave you.
Yeah, that's the true sign of the true passion,
Yes.
That's what I feel also. So
Yeah, totally. Dude, so it's been amazing talking with you. If you have anything else to let us know, please do now. And then also, we do our episodes a little bit differently now. We do a mantra of the day, okay? And the mantra of the day is literally just, a good positive note to end the episode on. So is there any quotes that you like that stand out to you? Like the one that always stands out to me is the one that my dad always says, which it is what it is. And I love that. When I was a kid, I would get annoyed to hear that all the time. It is what it is. But now that I'm 33 years old, to hear it is what it is, I use it in my life all the time. What is something that you like to say?
I'm thinking about one that's let me see. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change.
Love that. Say it again one more time so we can all hear it in our minds.
When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change.
Things you look at change. Yes, I would have to say that's totally, totally true. And that is amazing mantra of the day. And to piggyback on that, on the perception and the mindset, there's another thing that I want to end this episode on so that everyone can remember. Don't let someone in the cheap seats have an expensive opinion about your life. I think many times us as human beings, we get super consumed of what others think of us or their perception or what they are saying. But in all reality, we are the only ones in the expensive seats in our life. So don't ever let anyone take up that amount of space, right?
Yeah. Can we say a curse word?
Oh, yeah, you can say a curse word. I mean, go ahead.
Like, fuck him.
Exactly. I actually have a ring that says just fucking keep going. My ring that I got my finger says fucking keep going. So sometimes that's life, right? You just gotta keep going. Do you, right? Do you.
Yeah. I do you. I know. I do me. You do you.
Exactly, my friend. Well, thank you again, Tsunamiz. It was a pleasure having you and catching up. Whenever you want to come back to uma conversa, as portas estão abertas.
Sure thing. Thanks a lot, Marisa. Keep
Obrigada.
going.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.